So I was saying, a lot of times we jump onto, the things that are easy for us, like, the creative part, the
Mhm.
painting, but what's difficult is I think I'll ask you a few questions on the line of, so a lot of time we dive into these things. First, a lot of times, the biggest fear we have, and I want to talk about this because I want to get this out of the window. I start a workshop and it's happened to me, it's happened to all of us, I'm sure, whenever we put out an offer. In the first couple of times, it does not turn out to be the way we expect. Let's say nobody signs up, only two people sign up.
This has happened to me before. Full transparency. I've offered events. Nobody has signed up. I offered an online course or it was an online art camp for kids. Not one person signed up. And trust, that is really tough. Okay.
But okay, tell me something. Even a lot of times, I think, and I'm sure I've been there. I'm sure a lot of us, when a lot of people don't. I think even with the membership, and I think with events that we've done, one thing is a lot of times people don't show up.
Mhm.
And like even if it's a paid event, somebody falls sick, all of those
Mhm.
things. How can we make sure that people do? And if there's a low turn up, let's say only two people walk. A lot of people are afraid to show up just to one or two people, feeling like they might not look good in that picture, or they will look like
Mhm.
a failure, or like things like that. How do you find that, how do you reason yourself to go and do it? And if you do,
How do I convince myself to do it? Ooh, it's
yeah, I mean,
hard. I feel like I think, okay, the podcast is the same. It's like so many things that we put out there. It's like you throw it out into the universe and does it spin forever and not stick anywhere? I mean, it's so hard to know. But I think for me, I don't really pay attention I try not to pay attention to any of the metrics, those types of numbers.
welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi, I'm very excited to have you. Welcome to the membership. And today, um, I want, of course, for you to talk about yourself, but also to teach us things that you know and something that you've been doing for a while, which is hosting workshops. Um,
Mhm.
how about you take the first 15 minutes, and then I will start asking you questions?
Perfect. I have a presentation if you want me to
Perfect.
show that.
Yes. Let me just,
So do I go to
yep,
share screen?
yep.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me, Charuka. I'm honored to be here and to talk to your members. It's such an honor to share with you. And just a real quick thing, I'm an artist based out of the US in Michigan, and I'm a painter. I'm in my studio right now. So I have some of my paintings in the background. I'm getting ready for an open studio next month.
Yay.
And I have been working as a professional artist. Next year will be my 20th anniversary. And I did go to art
Wow.
school. Yeah, I did go to art school. And
Congratulations.
I truly believe that you do not need to go to art school to be a professional artist. And I believe that each artist has a unique path and both challenging. Both paths are challenging. And I had to overcome a lot when I graduated. The art school trauma that you hear about or the comments. I also had some good things come out of art school. And I've been working and selling my art ever since. And also having part time jobs many of the years. In 2004, I went full time as an artist. And I have three daughters who are all teenagers now. Can you believe that, Sharuka?
I
And I'm
can't.
married. I
Look
have a
at you.
husband. My studio is located in the countryside on a dirt road next to a cornfield.
Nice.
And if it's possible for me to sell art out of my studio, it's possible for you. And I also am currently not represented by a gallery. And so I sell all of my work on my own. And I am just so excited to be here. I've also created art workshops and events. And I believe that's something that is a strength of mine. So I'm really happy to share that with you guys today. So thank
Maria.
you again for having me. It is truly
I
an
am
honor.
very excited.
And I'm also an open book. So if you have questions after this, please follow up, email me. I'll have my contact information at the end of the slide show. And I'm happy to support artists. I believe that having events is so powerful and important and necessary, especially now. So I'm going to share my screen with you,
Okay.
and I guess I hit share. I'm not great at this part of it. Okay. So this is where it's a little awkward, but that's my Facebook. Okay.
We have it.
Okay. So I'm going to open up Canva here,
It's a
and
bit
thank you so
slow.
much.
As of now, your page, like for us, it's loading. It's still not, I can't see the
Yeah.
slide.
Here it comes. I need a new computer. That's on my to-do here. So, okay. Now this just takes me a second. This is not like my favorite part of the whole presentation is getting it set
And
up.
I can
But
also share this if you like.
yes. Okay. Share, present. Okay, here we go. Can you see now? You see
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
screen? Okay, if this looks familiar, Charuka, I did present this to the Art Queens a few years ago,
Yeah.
and I updated a few slides and I'm ready to share. So, excuse me. All right, so creating and hosting live art events, whatever type of art you offer, is so needed and powerful and amazing. And I want to hide this toolbar. Can you see that?
No, we can't see.
Okay. You can't see this black bar, right? No? Okay.
No.
So creating your own art events is so powerful and it's amazing. And people need art, especially right now. I feel like the world is a really unsettling place and art is needed more than ever. Before we start, I just want to disclaim that some of you in this group are probably more experienced than me, and you have created your own art events, and I'm not an expert. And I just want to acknowledge that. I also feel like even if you have created art events, that there's something that you're going to learn today because we all do things differently. So I am just so excited to share with you, but I definitely am not the expert here. Here's a little piece of my artwork that you can see. I'm an artist, educator, and coach. I have a studio in Michigan called the Cherry Tree Art Studio. I graduated in 05. I already told you that. And I also have a podcast called I Like Art. And I did interview Charuka a while ago. I think it was episode 32. So I would love for you guys to go check out my podcast. I've created and hosted over 120 events since 2014. Here's how it started. This is my youngest. She's now
Oh,
11. Isn't she so cute? And this is how it started. I think it's really important to talk about origin of how these things get started because I graduated. I thought I was going to be a professional artist. I thought I was going to paint and sell my art and that's it. And I also had other part-time jobs. And then at one point back in 2000, I think it was 14, my friend said, "Hey, I want to get some friends together and paint, kind of like a painting party." I'm sure you guys have heard of the wine and canvas
yeah.
type parties. Okay.
Yeah.
So she said, "I would love for you to just come and help us make these paintings. Would you be up for it?" And I said, "Absolutely." So all I did was I just shored up and gathered whatever art materials I had, all of my brushes. I had some paints. I went to the store and bought 10 canvases. I think that was about it. And I went to our house and I did it scrappy. And I didn't even think, oh, I'm going to be doing this in the future. But I had so much fun and they had a lot of fun. And it was just a great time. And I also realized, hey, this is a really social thing that I feel like I'm missing because at that point I had my baby, I had two older daughters. And I also was doing some part-time things, but it was a really cool way to interact with people who are excited about making art and sharing my knowledge of art and creativity. And it was just at that point, I just would joke with the people at those parties and say, "This is my social night out. This isn't yours." And so it just was a really eye-opening thing that I really didn't realize I needed to get out of my studio and to also be outside of the family environment where I wasn't playing this role as a mom or a caretaker. And I was just sharing art and being creative. And I just loved it. So that turned into this event on the right. The same friend, they had local church. They said, "Hey, why don't we just do this on a bigger level? There are people that want to do it." And I was like, "Really?" And I really felt like I wasn't qualified to do it. But I just thought, well, if she believes in me, I'm
I,
going to try it. And you see in this picture, there's not a bunch of easels, there's
yeah.
not a bunch of fancy anything. I just kind of used some of the money I made from the first party, reinvested it, and bought a few more brushes probably and paint. And then I offered this event, and it was a paid event. All of these events are paid. So you're going to definitely, you deserve to get paid. And then it just kind of bloomed into this thing where I was offering these other events, birthday parties. This was like out in someone's yard. We were painting chickens And it was just really kooky and fun as a birthday party. This was at a winery. This was at somebody's house. This was a fundraiser for for an organization for leukemia. This was at another church. This was like a mother-daughter event. And then I created this art event at one of my jobs. It's kind of a long story, but this is at my house in our pole barn. So it doesn't have to be in a gallery setting or a very refined setting. For instance, this was in a yard. This was in a pole barn. I've done parties in basements, local businesses like a winery. This was at a handmade soap company, another mother-daughter type event. Really
Wow.
cool, really fun. So the sky is the limit. And I'm a painter, but maybe you're a ceramic artist, or maybe you make jewelry, or maybe you are a collage artist. There's so many, the medium doesn't matter. People just want to create and be creative and hang out with their friends and their family. So, this is my middle daughter. So enough about me. Now this is about you and your journey. Okay. So maybe this has sparked some ideas. And I just really want to reiterate that the world needs you. They not only need these art events, but they need you to leave your studio. This was where my first studio was in this big building in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And it still stands today. And it's just a really cool, there's about 60 art studios in this building. And the world needs you to leave your studio, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And when you teach, it's not only about the event itself, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so basically, these in-person art workshops and events, it's like putting people together, some type of artistic expression through a medium, and think beyond teaching and shows. This could be, I did one event at a bakery, and we ate donuts and then we painted the donuts, and it was just
Oh,
a really
wow.
fun thing. I collaborated with the bakery, so they had their cost of how much they wanted to charge per person. I came up with my price, we put it together, and we paid accordingly, and it was just such a fun thing. So it doesn't have to be about making fine art. It can be fun too. Okay, so here's my dog. And I did an event in my house. This is my house. We had pushed all of our living room furniture to one wall. But okay, so when you hear about this, maybe you're having these limiting beliefs. I'm sure Charuka talks about limiting beliefs, right? And they are a real thing. So maybe you feel like you're not qualified to teach. I had that. Maybe you think no one will show up. We'll talk about that. I had this too. I really worried about what my art school professors were going to say. There's that saying of those who can't do teach. Well, I believe that people who teach and share their gifts are rewarded by the universe and the higher power. That I believe in that. I believe that when we teach, we are compensated, and we can be compensated accordingly. And it's all about bringing up that future generation of creative people. So I believe that there's room for you to make art with your creative practice and also teach. And you may end up making more money coaching, mentoring, and teaching than you do from your actual art. And I think that, again, is the universe saying, thank you for blessing other people. Thank you for sharing and making this more about, not about just you, but about sharing your gifts with others. So I'm a firm believer in that. And I think that if we think in that way, we're not only going to be making our own art, but we're going to be sharing and helping others tap into their creativity. And that gets me out of bed. That makes me more excited than anything. Okay, what will other people think? I'm not good enough. This is a fad. My art will suffer. I will say it is a time. It can take up your time. So you are going to have to prioritize your creativity still. And I had years where I struggled with that, where I was solely focusing on these events and my art was not happening. But you have to schedule in time for your art still. The algorithm, I just think that we all throw the algorithm in there. It's like an excuse for everything. And also too broke to start. And I just want to say, if you can start out scrappy, you are going to be doing so well. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just keep going. So then, okay, I want you to think about, what are your creative gifts? What past experiences have you had? For me, I worked in catering, which is, when you work for a restaurant and they go to offsite and they deliver food and they have like the plate service and the glasses and the silverware. And I use that setup part when I set up my parties. So it doesn't have to be all art experiences either. It could be
Yeah.
me learning how to cater helped me realize that rolling silverware is a lot like rolling up paintbrushes. And I would set out the paintbrushes like silverware. I'm not kidding. So really think about that. All of the different experiences you've had in your life. Maybe you homeschool your kids, and so you have experience teaching. There are so many different ways that you can look at that. So we have these gifts, we have these past experiences. Do you have multiple gifts that you can combine? You know, maybe you love to bake and you love to teach. Maybe you can offer an event with your handcrafted food and your art. What excites you? Okay, so think about all these things. These are great things to journal on. And also, next, think about your vision. How do you visualize yourself? What's your heart telling you to do? Are you getting a nudge to create an event or participate in something new? I also want to say with vision casting, a lot of times since we're dreamers and we're artists and we're creatives, I know for me, sometimes my vision is like the huge event with 50 people. Okay. Now I love that. But sometimes I think we visualize ourselves, you know, a year, 5 years, or a period of time way ahead. So you're visualizing yourself, you're at point A, and you can visualize yourself at point Z. Okay. Now, I want you to honor that and say, I love this vision for myself. This is awesome. But I also want you to think about it in baby steps. So what's a beta test? What's a small event that you can create as a test
Yeah.
for this bigger event? And I offered art camps in my studio. I actually didn't do it this summer, but the last 2 summers before that. And I wanted to have this big week-long experience for kids. Well, what I did was I created mini camps first, and I created a half a day camp for a small amount of kids. And then I
Hmm.
did that a couple times that summer. And that helped me iron out the kinks as far as having this bigger experience. So I love when we have these big visions. I
Yeah.
also love when we offer like smaller little boutique experiences as ways to build up maybe even the supplies alone. Like I own 52 easels, 52 aprons, 52 sets of
Wow.
brushes, but it took me about a year to slowly build and reinvest every time I did a small event with 6 or 8 people. So don't be intimidated. Okay. Define your why. What would your goal be with an event? Think beyond the event. So when you have these events, I will tell you one thing you can do is you're going to want to capture people's email addresses. Okay. So I use any type of event. I have an open studio or a workshop like this. During some part of the event, I'm going to have this pause where we take a break. And then I ask everyone to pay attention and I talk and I say, I have these little sheets of paper. If you want, you can add your name and your email, and I am going to be drawing a winner for a prize. Now, I sometimes I
Wow.
have the prize with me. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's a surprise gift from the studio. And if you're going to mail it, you might want their mailing address and their email address. And then I also say, when you fill the sheet out, I'm going to be drawing a name. I'm also going to be adding you to my email list, and I want to keep you in the loop of upcoming events. So my email list I have a pretty large list because
Okay.
I've done things like this before. So
Yeah.
you have the event, you make money from the event, but you're also meeting people and you're sharing what you do. And you are going to be using that as an opportunity to pull them into your art world and what you do. So it's way bigger than the event, guys. You also can have people that will want to do future events with you, and they're going to be on your email list. Okay. So being organized is everything. You're going to want to know the who, what, when, where, why, how when you plan this event. You're going to want to have one notebook or a planner to keep everything in there. You're going to want to record all of the details. And I also, so this is in like the planning phase when you decided that you want to do an event. You're going to want to know when, you want to know what exactly is the event, where, how, why, all of the things. Write all of it down and then visualize the event before, during, and after, and really write down all of the things that you're going to need. Okay. So keeping everything in one spot. And when I was doing a lot of these events, at one point I was doing a lot of these wine and canvas type workshops on my own. And I was offering 1 to 2 of them a week at one
Wow.
point. I know. Okay,
That is
so a
fun.
little backstory. This started in 2014. So for about 6 years, 5 years, this thing was building, and I would do an event, and then someone at the event would want me to do an event for them. And then
Yeah.
it just kind of grows. So it's also about spreading out your network and your awareness about what you do. I don't want to take up too much time. Okay. Because Charuka, I could talk for hours about this.
No problem.
I've actually taught a workshop on this before. I think I'm going to re-offer it soon,
Yes.
probably after the new year. So, what you're going to want to do is, okay, so I was telling you, so back in 2019, I had my whole 2020 all planned out. I had big events. At that point, I could sell out an event because I just had it all
You,
nailed and figured
yeah.
out. And I had it all lined up for 2020. Well, we all know what happened March of 2020. And at that point, events were 50% of my income as an artist for my business. 50%.
Wow.
So all of that shut down. And I'm so grateful now because it was perfect timing with my family. My kids are older. There's a lot more going on with their schedule. And also, I wasn't selling my art online, and it forced me into pivoting
Yeah.
into offering my work online. So that's a backstory about me. So you can always change, right? Your family dynamic can change, your needs can
Right.
change.
Yeah.
Every year can look different.
Mhm.
But I have a planner, and it's pretty, it's like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like 5 days. It's a spread, and there's the whole week. So another thing I learned at the
You're a
restaurant
planner.
was you have to stay organized.
Yeah.
Organization is everything. So I learned at the restaurant that when somebody booked a wedding, they had the same planner. So you open it up and it's the whole week, right? With lines. And then I would write down the event as if it was a wedding, and I would write down
Oh,
all the details, the person's phone number, the contact person's email, the amount of people, what painting we were going to create, all of the things. And then I would have it in this book, and I would know exactly where I was
God.
going, what time we were setting up, all that. Okay. Being organized is like the key. Okay. So event location, what type of space do you need? You can partner with a local business. If you have like a restaurant that you think it would be really fun, you can approach them and ask them. They usually will have more sales during the event. They may want to pick a night that's normally not that busy, and it brings in people that night. You can create an event within an event. So maybe it's their anniversary and you want to do an event there, and you guys can offer a special product. I mean, the sky is the limit. Rental fees, you can rent spaces out. You can also, what will the space be like when I arrive? Okay, that's important. So who's going to be setting up the tables and chairs? Who's going to be providing the tables and chairs? Who's providing what? There's a lot of different ways that you can do that, but you just want to, again, when you visualize what the event's going to look like, you're going to kind of know, okay, do I need running water? Okay, you're going to want to ask the venue, where's the running water? Do I have access to that? Those specific questions. So there's a lot that goes into this part of it. Also, I'm not sure okay, so if you're going to have an event with, say, alcohol, there's a lot of different rules depending on where you are. So if you want to have an event that is like a wine and art type night, you need to make sure that they allow for that.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I've had plenty of events without alcohol, and I don't think it prohibits people from signing up. I've done both, and I think you just kind of have to go with what type of event you want, or, I have also taught some classes at like a local bar, and I will say the crowd of people that go to different venues can be very different too. So you want to think about that. And the lighting in a bar may not be great.
Yeah.
And for some people, like if you want to offer a very high quality experience, maybe it's a higher ticket experience, you're going to want to think about your space, and does the space match the type of experience you want to offer? Okay. Because when I've taught parties at a bar, I mean, that can end up being a crazy night. People may not end up caring by the end. Now, I will say I was worried about that. And with alcohol involved, I feel like I kept people busy enough that they were focused on the art and it wasn't usually a problem. But, sometimes it can be. Okay, pricing. So paid one fee or per person. Maybe you want to partner with a business and they want to handle the guest list and they'll pay you a flat rate. I've had that. I think this is really important when you're having in-person events, setting minimums and maximums. So usually the maximum is determined by the amount of space that a space can hold. And so for me, with the wine and canvas setup, if I had a table that could hold 6 people, like at a dinner setting, I would usually remove one person, and so I would say 5 people would fit comfortably at a 6-seat table. Okay. So I'm all about like having it be a little comfy. Maybe you don't need that. Maybe your project is small, but just think about that. Okay. How much should you charge? There's, really think about how much your time for gathering your supplies, for setting up, for your travel. And when I teach my workshop, I really get specific about all of the pricing because it's very important. And how are you going to get paid? Are they going to sign up on your website, or is the host going to handle the signing up and the list? And whoever handles the guest list, that is a time-consuming job. And if you are in charge of that, you're going to want to price accordingly because with the more casual, so to back up, when I started, I would go to a lot of people's homes and I set a minimum. For me to make it worth my while, I would say 6 to 8. I think it was 6 people at the very beginning, but I moved it up to 8. I need to have at least 8 people.
8 people. Yeah.
For this to be worth my while. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if they didn't take payment right away, back then I was very casual. I had people pay me right at the event. So in my mind, I said 8 people, but I knew, people get sick, people forget, that kind of thing happens. So in my mind, really it was 6 people. So if 6 people could come, it would be worth my while. So I would tell the host 8 people because I knew there's always 1 or 2 people that don't make it at the end. So you really deserve to be paid for your time. This isn't like a volunteer thing, in my opinion. Yes, it's an outreach, it's exposure, but I do believe that artists deserve to be paid. So, okay, these are all my brushes, guys. Timeline. Think about seasonality within your business. Maybe there's a slow season in your business and you would like to generate a new revenue income stream. Add an event. Okay. That's such a cool way to do that. Or your target audience's timeline. I know for me, moms in the fall and in May, super busy time of year, hard to get people to go, those types of people to go to my events. Time of day, time of week, length of session. A lot of those wine and canvas parties were nights and weekends. Germ season. And this is real. And I would take this into account even before COVID was flu season. Okay. So in Michigan, everybody gets the flu in January and kind of around the holidays. So I would kind of take a break from my events during then. And you are in charge of your schedule. So if you feel like you're taking on too much, don't say you're gonna have to say no to people. Or if you feel like you want to take on more, there's that. So create and promote your event. I want you to get so excited. Your excitement will sell everything in your business. Okay. Right now I have a calendar launch. I sell a calendar every year.
Yes, I've seen
And this is my calendar.
Yay.
Yeah. So this 2024. The 2025 is my 11th calendar that I am offering.
Wow.
And I've also figured out how to do that. So, but your excitement will sell anything in your art business. So if you're excited about your event, you're going to get people excited and they're going to want to go. If you're excited about your new launch of art, get excited. People love that energy and the world needs more of it. So don't feel bad. Who will promote your event? Will you promote the event and the host, or will they do all the promoting? How will people sign up? There's a launch strategy. Make sure you give yourself at least a month, I would say, for an event. So Gotta let people know. Everybody gets busy. On the event day, I like to mentally prepare, visualize the event. Again, arrive on time or early, which you're going to have figured out ahead of time. Do you need a helper or assistant? If it's a larger event, you're definitely going to need 1 or 2 people to help you. Maybe that's 10 or more people. It depends on your comfort level. Organization is everything, like having everything in separated bins. I have a whole system. I had it all, like everything was
Wow.
in a
So
certain
organized.
oh yes. So, and this is like learning by doing. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be this organized right away, but you're going to learn if you have all of your canvases unwrapped and ready when you get there, it's going to save you so much time. Okay. And then
Yeah.
get excited. So, at the beginning of your event, this is the most important thing is you're going to need to give a spiel, which is your intro. So when everybody sits down and they're calm, I have a little tambourine, or you could have a whistle, or you could clap, have everybody's attention. You're going to go through the spiel. You're going to introduce yourself. You're going to talk about your art. You're going to promote yourself. It's so uncomfortable, and you're going to speak up. And you might mention a future offer. You're going to say, hey, at some point, I'm going to ask you guys to fill out this little slip because I'm going to do a little giveaway. And
Yeah.
then you can kindly ask for feedback. You're going to tell them about the raffle. You're going to go through the process, hey, this is going to take about 3 hours, and you can take a break. Tell them where the bathroom is, stuff like that. And then you're going to make it so unforgettable. So this is also huge because there are, we can think, yeah, there are a lot of artists that teach workshops, right? But what is it about you? What is your energy like? Do you make people excited? Do you make people feel calm? Do you make people feel empowered? Or do you empower people to take risks? What is it about you as an artist that you can inject as far as your personality and your offer? Because you want to make this an unforgettable experience. Because trust, I don't know about you, but I've been, and I recommend this. Like, if you want to offer something like this, take a workshop similar from somebody
Yeah.
else and
Absolutely.
kind of see
Always
what
was.
you like about it. And I remember my friend and I, we went to a wine and canvas class, and I felt like the instructor didn't even care about where everybody was at. They just went through the motions. It was blah, blah, blah. It was very basic. And I thought, no way. I'm going to have fun
Yeah. Never.
aprons. I'm going to have the energy. I'm going to make people feel good about, what
Yeah.
they accomplished.
Yeah.
And that's also important. So leave a business card. You can write handwritten thank you cards to your host or to the people that go if you have time. Okay. And then once you start getting really good at this, you're going to have people that are going to ask you all the time. And then this is real, and it's so hard to say no.
Yeah.
Screenshot this and use this for anything in your life. Thank you so much for thinking of me in this season of my life or time of year. I'm unable to do the party, or, and I actually don't do many events anymore right now because I'm so busy with my family, and that's
Yeah.
great. But I'm unable to do that. I'm sure you'll find someone, or if you know someone, you can refer them and they love that. Okay. So final words, you have what it takes. Getting out of your studio, you never know who you're going to meet. You're going to ask people for what you want. You're going to meet people. I have met new collectors. I
Oh.
have made new friends.
Hmm.
I have exposed people to my art who didn't even know I existed. And it's one of those things where I live in Southwest Michigan. I literally live outside of a village of 620 people.
Wow.
Yes, I have had more people in this area purchase my art. Well, this was before I kind of raised my prices, but it doesn't really matter where you live.
Yeah.
You never know. This is true. You never know who you're going to meet that has a relative that lives way over here
Yeah.
that does this way different thing. There's so much power in sharing and getting out of your comfort zone. And for me, my studio is my comfort zone. It has all my favorite things. It has the temperature, it has my art. It's my cozy little hideaway. I don't have to talk to anybody. But when I leave my studio and I share my gifts, that's when crazy things happen, like commissions or new, anything like that. So I totally believe in you. And if anything, you're going to become a better public speaker. And this is kind of what led me into starting my podcast, was because I'm so used to talking to a room full of people and I love sharing art. So it just made total sense. But I didn't love it at first.
I
Okay,
love
so I'm happy to provide any support. This is me holding somebody's baby during their party.
somebody's. I thought this was your.
I don't even know who this baby is. This baby is like 10 years old now. Here's my email. Here's my Instagram. Please connect with me. I don't even have my podcast on here, Charuka.
Yes.
It's called I Like Art. And it's all about interviewing contemporary artists and also just encouraging you to be more creative. So that is everything. I'm happy to answer any questions now or later if you're watching the
Yes.
recording. Please hit me up. And I'm here to support artists. I believe that this is so important. Okay. I think I
Oh,
stopped my screen
absolutely.
share. Did I?
This was wonderful. I think you did. You've answered so many great points, and I think how organized, because a lot of times as artists, we run on to just the most exciting part, like, oh, how the table would be set, or like, oh, what am I going to paint, or like, things that we enjoy and which is our comfort zone. But what the hard part is, a lot of times we don't understand the technical side of those things. Okay, have I lost you? So I was saying, a lot of times we jump onto the things that are easy for us, like the creative part, the
Mhm.
painting, like but what's difficult is, I think I'll ask you a few questions on the line of, so a lot of time we dive into like these things first. And first, a lot of times the biggest fear we have, and I want to talk about this because I want to get this out of the window. I start a workshop, and it's happened to me, like it's happened to all of us, I'm sure. Whenever we put out an offer, in the first couple of times it does not turn out to be the way we expect. Let's say nobody signs up, only two people sign up. Like, can you also share some of your own experience and how you handle it, so that, like, a lot of times we feel like, oh, this is only happening to me, look at someone, she's having all of the success. What do you want to say about that?
Okay. Oh, I love this question. And I don't love this for all of us at the same time. This has happened to me before. Full transparency. I've offered events. Nobody has signed up. I offered an online course, or it was an online art camp for kids. Not one person signed up. And trust, that is really tough. Okay. And I think it all comes down to, now I'm going to speak specifically to these events, okay, not the online stuff, because that's a different
Mhm.
animal. But when you're starting out, I want you to think about that vision that you had, okay? And I want you to also, we didn't even talk about goal setting, but
Yeah,
maybe a goal for you is to create this new income stream,
right.
or it's to try it out. The beta test situation was my friend asking me, and I didn't even plan it. This just kind of like fell into my lap. Okay. She asked me, and I thought, well, that sounds fun. I'm terrified. I'm scared to do it. I don't know if I'm going to even be able to. I'm not a teacher. I went to school to be an artist. Okay. All those things. But I thought, why not try it? Now, if you want to create an event and say one or two people sign up, okay. If
Okay.
you're just getting started and
Mm,
you have the supplies, if you're able to try, if this is like your first time doing it, you can also gain really great experience when you only have one or two people sign up. Like maybe you go in and okay, part of it is kind of deciding how much is your time worth, because sometimes I've had to cancel things because I didn't hit this minimum number,
yeah.
but I was so relieved because I was so busy.
Yeah.
And letting the host know, being very upfront at the beginning that in order for me to do this, because I do have a family, or I do have a job, or I do have lots of time constraints for business reasons, I have to have 6 people come. Now, this is a conversation you want to have about a week before the event. You're going to want to touch base and kind of check in and see how many people are signed up. And then you decide, do you want to cancel it? Or do you want to push and have people sign up at the last minute? Because you can get people to sign up at the last minute. So, one thing I do to kind of prevent this from happening anytime I offer a workshop or an event is
Mm,
when somebody signs up, I try to email them as soon as I can within a day or two. And I encourage them to, hey, here's the link to the event, sign up. I always encourage people to invite a friend or two. Do you know of a friend that would like to come and join? Because it's always
yeah.
more fun with friends and it helps me.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people to, whenever they sign up, like, hey, do you have any friends that might want to come to this event? Because it's always more fun when people bring their
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
And that automatically can double your list, truly. or it can boost your list to a number that you feel like it's more worth your while. So you can kind of decide. Now, if you're new and you're trying to gain experience, or maybe you're really feeling really nervous about talking in front of a group of people of any size, maybe
Yeah.
that 1 to 2 person experience could be very cozy for them.
Yeah.
And it also, I didn't even talk about testimonials, but if you can offer this beautiful experience for people, if you can offer them a way for them to give you any kind of feedback and testimonial, you can
Mm.
use that the next time you offer an event as leverage and also as proof of concept that you're an actual person that can teach and provide a great experience. Testimonials are so powerful. So I will also say with events that events can be very expensive. It can be an area of your business that you can overspend and you can go crazy. So it can be very sneaky ways, like the food and drink part of it. You can spend a lot of money on refreshments for an event, even napkins and coordinating colored cups and silverware. Those are the types of things that people can they indulge on, and then their event is not nearly as profitable. So even art supplies, kind of figuring out how much paint you need is an art in itself. Okay. So if you can buy paint from somewhere and they have a return policy where if
Mm.
it's not opened yet, you can return it. That
Mm.
is great. So I definitely, when I was doing parties regularly, I just had extra paint and I would have my own, it was like my own store almost. But the last time I did an event, I thought, well, I don't know when the next time I'm going to offer an event is. So I returned the sealed bottles of paint that I didn't use like the week later, and I got like $100 back. So I think also with events, if you have your list, maybe try not to buy a lot of the supplies until like the week of, if you can, or shop sales. So there's ways that you can prevent yourself from spending a lot of money, because when you spend more than you should, that really eats up your profit at the end of the event. So,
Yeah, this is a great idea actually.
mhm,
But okay, tell me something. Even a lot of times, I think, and I'm sure I've also, I mean, I've been there. I'm sure a lot of us, when a lot of people don't. I think even with the membership, and I think with events that we've done, one thing is a lot of times people don't show up.
mhm,
And like even if it's a paid event, somebody falls sick, like all of those
mhm,
things. How can we make sure that people do? And if there's a low turn up, let's say only two people bought, a lot of people are afraid to show up just to one or two people, feeling like they might not look good in that picture, or they will look like
mhm.
a failure, or like things like that. How do you find that, like how do you reason yourself to go and do it, and if you do?
How do I convince myself to do it? Ooh, it's
Yeah, I mean,
hard. I feel like so many, I think, okay, the podcast is the same. It's like so many things that we put out there. It's like you throw it out into the universe and does it spin forever and not stick anywhere? I mean, it's so hard to know, but I think for me, I don't really pay attention I try not to pay attention to any of the metrics, those types of numbers. But also, I think I also hold on to the belief that people just don't provide the feedback, whether they like have. I assume people have a good time, and unless I hear otherwise, I think people are more
yeah,
apt to complain. And I also think that you just never know who's talking about you and what it's like the ripple in the pond. So everything that you do, it's like throwing a rock in a
yeah,
pond and then the ripples go out and you just don't really know. I mean, I'm having a talk today and I'm enjoying it. And no matter what the outcome is, it's great
yeah,
experience. I'm sharing, I'm fine tuning my skills. There's a lot of things that you can benefit from just doing the thing, whether or not you have a crowd of people.
yeah.
So I think it's all training for the next big thing. And we
Mm.
just don't realize it. Now, I definitely have had some events where I felt, especially the beginning, where I felt like I totally bombed this, or I didn't do a great job of teaching that one thing, or there's room for improvement, right? And I think it's just a matter of taking on that beginner mindset of I'm learning as I go, and every little thing that I'm doing matters. It
Yeah.
totally matters. So, Sharuka, if this ended up being a conversation with you and me, I think, I got some resources from you, and there's a lot of things that this is a relationship between you and I that's great talking. And so I don't know if I really answered your question, but
No
I
worries.
do believe that, and also if you have 1 to 2 people sign up, I think it's good to let them know, like, hey, the class isn't totally full yet. Could you help me find some, friends that want to come? Or are you comfortable if it's the three of us? I promise you, you're gonna get so much attention and you're gonna feel you're gonna get more for your money if it's
Yeah.
just us, right? So I think that's part of it. And also for me, a lot of it is really working on my communication skills. So when
Yeah.
somebody signs up, I email them and I basically send them so if it's on my website as an event, for instance, all the information that's listed on the website, I'll cut and paste it in the email. And at the bottom, I'll say, in case you need all of the details of the event, this was on the website and here's all the information. And I will be emailing you the week of the event to remind you of certain things. So that's the first email. So I'll have this kind of email sequence where that's the first email. And then the second email is the week of, and it's the reminder. Here's the link. You already paid, this is the time you should arrive, all those details. And then if I'm really worried that people aren't going to come, you can also remind them the day before. But I think it's making people feel comfortable that you're going to deliver the product that you sold them or the experience. And also, if you want people, so in the event space, if you want people to go, and they pay on your website, it's very good to have a cancellation policy of some sort to protect you listed in the event. And also, when people pay ahead of time, most of the time they will show up.
Yeah.
So now that it's kind of funny because post-COVID Sarah is different than pre-COVID Sarah.
Yeah.
And I feel like people flake out. People don't show up as much as they even used to. Maybe it's in my
Absolutely.
area.
I've seen this online. Like, we have about 30 members by now. But
Mm-hmm.
I say this for myself also. Like, I was such a regular at the Art Queens before. But now I just struggle to make it to a lot of calls because life has resumed again and
Mm-hmm.
we do not have as much as bandwidth. And I've seen, like, even myself, like courses I've taken up, workshops I've taken up, it a lot of time I fail to show up even though I start, like, I really want to, and I end up doing it at a very different timeline, like watching the recording. I took a class from Amy. I was recording with Amy also, and I told her, like, I've taken your class and I don't know what's happening. And I was like, oh my God, I missed it. I missed the live session. And I had to, like, watch the recording because I just totally flipped out.
Yeah, and I think we're busier. You're right, we're busier now. I also think we are more flexible with what we're able to do.
Yeah.
So it's, I'll just watch the recording later. I do believe
Yeah.
that having the recording available is powerful,
Yeah.
and I enjoy watching replays of
Yeah.
things. So, for instance, my calendar workshop last 2 weeks ago, I had one person come to the second call and it was kind of the same. It was like, oh, are people even going to watch this? But I've gotten some feedback and I'm always surprised. And if it's half the people, great, or if it's a third of the people, great. I'm just not even going to worry about those numbers and just
Yeah.
know it's there for them when they need it.
Yeah.
And I truthfully have also signed up for online programs that I've yet to finish. And I think that community, sometimes it's not even being a part of the call. It's just you're a part of something and you're sending messages to your community often. And that matters. The fact that you are there and you're a support for them. So I don't know. I think that all of it matters. And people are looking for community and they're looking for things to do and they're looking for ways to get back into the world and be involved. So I think the event space is a beautiful space to be in. And I do want to say back when I offered them once a week, I felt like people were more comfortable being that busy. And now we're just not we're just
Yeah.
less, it's like we're just not as happy being that busy. So I think being strategic in your events and not, putting the pressure on yourself to create a weekly
No,
offer. Maybe
absolutely.
it's a couple times a year, just whenever you have a gap in your business.
Yeah.
Plug an event in there and see what you can do. So,
Okay, another question. And
mhm.
Ajola, if you want to pitch in a question, please just unmute.
Yeah.
In the meanwhile, I'll add one more question, which is
Mhm.
when you say host, and let's say I'm a newbie who's trying to host in a workshop, and let's say I want to collaborate with someone. right?
Mhm.
And I reach out to them and I tell them, okay, it could be both ways. It could be someone's house, it could be a restaurant, or just somebody, I like and I feel like could also help me market it, because that's one of the biggest reason
Mhm.
we would like to collaborate.
Mhm.
What are your specifications on, let's say, how do we work around the commission and the, the financial part of it? And how do we make it, like, a lot of times, I think a lot of times when people, we're afraid to talk money. Um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
sometimes either we want everything, or we don't, we end up taking nothing. I think with artists this is the most common struggle. Either we feel like, a lot of artists feel like, oh, they need to be paid for everything, which I feel is not true. A lot of times, like, um it's somebody's effort also. And there's a lot of things, like, you have to understand where you are, what you are in your situation. So what are your tips for someone who's just reaching out, how they can crack a deal, tell someone
Mhm.
what is their benefit, and make a successful collaboration?
Oh, I love this. This is a really good question.
Mm.
True. This is so good. Okay. Well, I think because I've done a lot of these different types of events. So the beginning part is who approached who. Okay. Maybe, okay, for this situation, if you wanted to collaborate with a business, do you have a business example?
Mm, business, okay. Let's
Like a
say
type of
Arts to
business?
Heart. Let's say I am Arts to Hearts and I want to collaborate with, let's say, an art store, local art store, let's say.
A local art store. This is juicy. This can be okay, an art store. We can also plug this
Coffee
into
shop.
like a boutique, like a
Yeah, a
ladies
boutique.
boutique
Oh,
shop
that
because I've
would be
done
so
this
good.
before.
Oh,
Oh,
I
it's
love
so
this
fun.
idea.
I'm super passionate. I'm gonna tell you all the things here. So you have a vision. Now, do they have the space for it? Can you envision? Do you want to do it at their business or do you want to do it separate? Let's
By
say
adding, you mean?
I say, let's have the event at their business, at this
Okay,
art
their
store.
store.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're
Yeah,
going to say,
sure.
and maybe you're like, you go to the art store and you're like,
Like, if
ooh,
it's
it would
you,
be,
I would like
huh?
to find, like, when I'm looking at your work, I would find like a boutique who makes these abstract or colorful clothes, so that the paintings and the colors, like, they could complement very well. Don't you think
Yes.
it's too exciting?
I've done this before at a boutique and it's so fun. Okay. So you have this vision, you want to do this event with this really cool store that you love. Okay. Love that. And, maybe they have like a back room or maybe they can clear the racks in the middle of the shop and have some tables set up. You can kind of visualize it, right? So you're going to approach the business and you're going to say, "Hey, I'm Sarah. I'm a local artist. Are you the owner? I have this idea. I do these wine and canvas type parties, and I've done them with local businesses, and I would absolutely love to partner with you guys and maybe do an event here. Is there someone I could talk to?" I don't know about you, but in my area, I feel like the shop owner is usually there,
Yeah.
or they'll say they're actually going to be here tomorrow morning.
Okay.
And like, okay, so I'm going to try to pop in or I'm going to try to call them when they're there. And then you're going to say, I talked to so and so, Julia, or whoever was working at the counter. And if you can see them face to face, I think for me, that's better.
Mm.
But you can also call them. I would probably try to see them. And then I would say, go in and be like, "Hey, I absolutely love your shop. Wouldn't it be cool? Do you have a second? I want to talk to you about this idea that I have." And maybe they'll say, you want to ask them that because maybe they're super busy. Maybe they'll say, "No, but real quick, what are you thinking?" Or let's set up a time to talk or whatever. Okay, so when it works for them, you're gonna say, "I think, I offer these wine and canvas type classes as an example. Wouldn't it be awesome if we did an event here?" And I've done this with other businesses, or I've heard of this before, where I would teach them how to make the painting. We could maybe collaborate on the food or the refreshments, or we would decide that. But there's always a break period in the middle. And it would be a really cool opportunity for everyone to take a break, have a snack, but also browse and shop your space. And I also, maybe you'd be interested in offering a discount that night, whether it's, 10, 20% off. Or maybe we could do a fun giveaway together, because I do this giveaway thing and it would be about 3 hours and it would just be so fun to do it. And A lot of times, maybe summer is like their busy season, but maybe they want to do it in the spring. Maybe they want to do it in the winter and make this event out of it. So if they agree to it, you're going to want to set up a time. It could be over the phone or it could be in person. Say, okay, well, why don't you think about it? Let's set up a date and time when we can really talk about the details, and then we'll meet up. And then you, maybe like a week later, you let them kind of think about it, and then you call them and you have your phone meeting with them and you go over all of those things. So some business owners are good at marketing and they're great at that. And some of them they don't have the mind for it, or they don't do it, or they don't have the time. So the marketing piece, so you're going to want to kind of sit down with them either in person or on the phone, and hopefully they're excited about it, because you want that. You don't want them to be like, oh, I guess I'll do it. Or, you kind of want people to be on board with what you're doing, because that energy is not good. Or if you're feeling like you're doing them a favor by going to their business, and because you are bringing in business, because people will shop during the middle part of the session. And they can also talk at the beginning of the event and plug any future things that they have going on. It's just a cool moment for them to have people in their space and learning about what they're doing and what they offer. So it's great marketing for them too. So then you're going to want to sit down with them and you're going to want to say, okay, well, how many people can we hold in this space? And is that worth it for you? Hopefully it hits your minimum, right? Otherwise, you're going to have to really raise your price and make it like a really special, intimate experience, which you can totally do that. You're in control of this. You're going to want to talk about tables and chairs. Do they have tables and chairs? You're going to want to talk about, are you going to have to bring them? Most businesses will have that, or they can they don't have to all match. They can be, random chairs that they put together. Who is going to do the marketing? Because you approached them, are you going to have it on your website? Are you going to handle the signups?
Yeah.
Or are they going to take that on? Because if you do it, you're going to want to factor that into your price.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe they want to offer a swag bag with goodies. You can collaborate on that, or maybe they create that and that's part of their price for what because at some point it's like a partnership, and they're going to have cost and you're going to have cost, and you're going to kind of have to figure out how much per person they need and to make it worth their while, and how much per person you need. Okay. So this is kind of like a dance. So, and then you're going to kind of see who's going to handle the marketing.
Yeah.
And hopefully both parties promote it. Okay. Not only will they do it, but where will they promote it? Will they send it to their email? Will they put it on their social media? Will they have a flyer up? What are they going to do to promote it? Maybe you feel like you have enough of a following that you don't really need them to promote it. You can send it to your email list and maybe it'll fill up. But since you approached them, it's going to be probably more on you. Okay. Now, if they approached you and they said, hey, I heard you did this event down the street, would you do it? That's a different situation. That is hopefully them pulling in their people for you to come in and do the thing. So it's very tricky and it's nuanced. It's not like there's a playbook for this. But you need to really think about that. Now, maybe you have a friend that's a business owner and you guys want to do this event together because you love each other and you want to support each other's businesses. That feels more of like a 50-50 thing. Right. So you just kind of have to see, but being very clear about the marketing and who handles the signups and the registration is very important. Okay. And you're going to want one person to handle the list. You don't want to have both people. That gets weird. You need one person in charge of the list. Okay. And then I've had it where I did this event at a winery. They sent it out to their people. They handle the signups. They hit the minimum of 8 people. Perfect. They write me a check at the end of the night. They sell tons of wine. Everybody's happy. I've done events where it's more of a partnership, and then I handle the signups, and then I write them a check at the end of the day. And there's a lot of things you need to factor in with your costs. If you're handling signups on your website, you're going to have a 3 to 4% credit card processing fee that you're absorbing. You're going to have, your time. It's not like you can really pay yourself to be the admin for the event, but it's time consuming. So
Yes.
you're going to want to have your per person price up a little higher. And then obviously your costs. And then if there's refreshments, maybe they handle the drinks and you handle the snacks, or maybe you guys
Yeah.
decide we're going to spend $100 on food.
And from whatever proceeds we have, 20% couldn't go to the food or something.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can also, I would say with food and drink, you can do it very cheaply. You
Yeah.
can buy big bags of popcorn and you can put that out with bottles of water. You can have people bring their own snacks. It depends on the rules, if they can bring their own alcohol or if you don't want to deal with that. Or you can make your own punch very affordably. Pinterest is probably a great place to look for all those
Yeah.
ideas. But I think if it's like if you want to do a really fancy higher ticket item event, make the food match the event. Or
Yeah,
um, I
absolutely.
also dress, I also
Yeah.
dress to match the painting. I learned that from my caterer. I dress to match the art. And also, if it's a very nice place, I probably am not going to wear ripped jeans.
Yeah.
So, same when I deliver my artwork. If I'm delivering a $4,000 commission, I will be more dressed up than if I'm delivering a small little print or something, which I don't deliver usually. But it's kind of like visualizing the whole event from a whole perspective and making the whole thing. You can make a playlist. I didn't even talk about music, but you
Yeah.
can bring music and make a playlist. There's so many different cool things that you can add to this that make it yours. So
I love that. I love that. I think these are some
yeah.
great ideas. You've already I'm sure now anyone who's watching this later right now, you let me know anyone who's, hosted a party after this or is attempting. Sarah is also in the group. So if you have questions, you're trying to do it, ask in the group and we all will benefit from it, right?
Yes. And I'm going to say that thank you for that, Shurka. I'm happy to help. If you get stuck on pricing, again, because this is a worldwide group, again, you're going to want to make sure that you're following your local ordinances and rules and expectations, maybe considering safety. Do you feel like you're safe traveling to this venue? Do you need another person with you? If you're having an event, so we've had events my studio is connected to a larger pole barn. I showed a picture of that, but my husband is usually home. I mean, I don't do these events alone. If I have my studio open, I'm not here alone. So I want you to think about that because
I love
the
that. Yeah.
world, you definitely want to protect yourself. And if you're going to be in these bars or different types of venues, have somebody walk you to your car when you're when you're loading your vehicle, or park up to the door. Don't walk out to your car alone. Just
Yeah.
be aware, because you are out in the public, that you need to be aware, and strength in numbers. If you have a friend that can come with you and help you. You can also pay your friends with art or bartering. You don't always have to pay them you can pay them with food. I don't know. I had a couple of friends help me and I took them out afterward. It was really fun, but you have friends and family that want to help you too. So
Absolutely.
let them help you package up your items the day before, or watch your kids so you can get your things done. Allow people to support this new thing that you're doing, because it takes a village, right?
Yeah.
It takes. So I'm really happy to help. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And I'm definitely not the expert on events, but I've done
Oh,
enough of
you've been
them.
helpful.
And I absolutely feel so energized after talking to you and also doing events like this. I think it's just when it's not comfortable at first, growth happens when you're outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And if you're uncomfortable, that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes I definitely embarrassed myself, and it wasn't perfect at first. It was very scrappy. It was very low budget and messy. And I'm so glad I did. And you may be surprised. This might be like a whole new thing
Thing
that
that
you
opens
do.
up.
You just don't even know, or you try it and you don't like it.
Yeah.
That's totally fine too. You just kind of have to have an open mind about it. But I don't know. I think there's something amazing when you share what you love and you see that aha moment on someone's face when they realize that they actually can make something, that they are creative, or maybe they haven't made a piece of art since they were in middle school or elementary school or they were little. And then you open up this new side of people. I mean, this is the power of doing those types of events. So that's the part that is like it's way bigger than you. It's way bigger than you making money, providing for your family. It's all about impact and it's about helping spark that creative spark in other people. So,
And this was incredible. I think it's like a very hands-on workshop for
yay.
everyone who's here to do this. And I'm sure the members of the 80s Club will totally love it. And I hope anyone who's watching this later, please, I've got this kick and I'm already thinking of ideas. And
Yay.
I'm going to keep you updated of what's happening. Who do I reach
Mm-hmm.
out? How does that do? And let's keep it in the group so that we can all like at least aim for one, help each other, encourage us each other to do one at least this time. And
Yes, and do small. You don't have to start anything crazy big.
yeah,
Also, I was gonna say when you asked me, thank you so much, Sharuga. I'm more than happy to share what I know. But if you only have 1 to 2 people sign up, you can also invite some maybe family members or your close friends to fill those
for sure.
spots because who can I mean,
Yeah,
it's like a scholarship opportunity, or maybe you know
yeah,
somebody that really could use something like this. Like they need this event would be so good for them.
yeah,
Give them a scholarship, or maybe somebody reaches out to you and says, "I'd love to do it, but I can't afford it."
yeah.
Bring them in because you can also get. There's so many different parts of this. I could talk on and on about it, but you can get some photos, you can get some videos of people doing this event. People on the outside don't know who paid and who hasn't, or
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
your little pilot project or
Turns into,
your beta test is a group of your friends and you have the best time ever. You
yeah,
could do this for a retreat. I mean, there's a retreat is just like a very expanded element event, which is
yeah,
like something I want to do. Um,
do,
is offer a retreat because it's like a workshop for a weekend kind of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely be creative, get creative about it, invite, just have people come in that you can, or I don't know, if you partner with a business, see if they can get a couple people, you can get a couple people,
yeah,
work together. So thank you so much. Yes, please reach out. And when you have your event, post it in the group. We'll all celebrate you. You can talk about what worked, what didn't work, what you would do differently. These are all learning opportunities, and you can tweak and refine as you go. And it's going to be really messy. It's going to be awkward at first, but that's where you grow. That's where
yes,
this is
absolutely,
gonna. And oh, one last point I wanted to say. Can I say it? Is
absolutely,
I have this limiting belief that creating these simpler paintings, because if you have 3 hours, it's got to be pretty simple, right? For to teach it.
anyone, yeah,
I thought, gosh, is this going to make me a worse artist? Is this going to worsen my skill? Is this
yeah,
going to, not only does teaching take away from your art practice as far as your
yeah,
credibility, but um, is this going to be a big distraction for my art business? And I would completely disagree now that I'm on the other side. I became a much better artist after teaching workshops because it made me more aware of my process. So as I'm making a painting, I'm thinking about how I would teach it or what
yeah,
I'm doing, why I would do it. It helped me communicate in a more powerful way visually. Because now you have to explain what you're doing, right?
yeah,
And it reinforced. So when you teach, it can reinforce the knowledge that you already have. So it reinforced my knowledge as an artist. And it also puts you on a different level as far as making you a little bit more of an expert.
yeah,
So it's good for your confidence, really. And once you overcome the scary part of standing in front of a group of people and teaching it,
yeah,
at the end of the class, when everyone's finishing, you're going to be amazed at what people made. And you're going to feel so empowered. Okay. It's
yeah,
like, well, I did this small workshop. Now I can dial it up a little bit and add a little bit more of a difficulty level. And it builds on itself. So I'm actually giving a lecture, Sharuka. I don't know if you know this, but I'm giving a lecture
no,
at the university I went to October 24th this year.
wow,
And
congratulations,
to an auditorium, I think there's 100 people seats, And it's a free
Oh,
public lecture about my art. And there's no way in the world I would have even agreed to do it
wow.
before I did these workshops because now I'm just comfortable talking and it's going to be scary, but I'm going to be fine. But because
Oh,
I
this
had
is
all that
great.
practice talking in front of a group of
Yeah,
people, suddenly you can do amazing things. You'll be surprised. So I'm gonna leave on that
yeah.
note. Thank you again, Sharuka. Thanks for having me. And if you
Thank
ever
you
need a
so
guest
much,
for your
Sarah.
podcast, I would love to be on your show someday. I love your show. It's so awesome. So
Oh my
keep it
God.
up.
Thank you. I think this should be a podcast episode as is. I don't want to gatekeep this.
Oh, share it. That's
This is
totally fine.
amazing. Is that fine
Yes.
with you?
Totally fine. And I will say I did this talk to the art queens back in 2021. And then that gave me the idea of offering as a workshop online. And I had really great success from that. I had a small group. It was again a small group, but I have had people ask me about it. And I will be creating this as an online
Please
course
do.
of some sort. And I'm
Yes.
thinking next year, hopefully the beginning of next year, I'll have some kind of online course for
Anyone
this
who
topic.
looks at it is listening to this. Make sure you keep an eye on all updates from Masara because I'm into. I think this is something that we need more and more different ways of how we put ourselves out there. And I think
Hmm.
this is a great social way and also an
Hmm.
easy, light and easy way to influx an income in your business, but also influx some social interactions.
Yeah. And it's fun. I didn't
Yeah.
even talk about how much it's so fun. You can have so much fun. You can help people be creative again. You can make money. It's like a whole nother door that can open
Yes.
for you. And positioning yourself as more of an expert in your community
Yes.
and as a professional artist, because truthfully, a lot of artists can be very shy. And if
Yeah.
you can break through your shyness, there's just many more things out there for you. So I truly believe that. I cannot wait. I can't wait to see your club and see what people create for their events. It's fun. So
I
please
can't
share.
wait to talk myself. Thank you so much, Sarah. This was amazing. I am very, very grateful to have you. I will make sure that we link all your projects, all the podcasts, your website and your work all on within the group. And if we
Thank
decide to
you.
put this up also on the podcast, I'll make sure that, this is such a valuable resource. And I hope that you do create a wonderful course so that we all can come to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharika. It's so nice talking to you. I'm just
Well,
honored to be here. Please reach out, everybody, if you have any questions, if you're feeling like you can't do it, if you need a pep talk, I'm your
yes,
girl.
he's great
I'm
at
here
it.
for you. So thank you so much. And thank you for everything you do, Sharika, for artists. I don't know how you do what you do, but you're amazing and you're such a shining light in this world and you do so much for artists. And I could never thank you enough because we need more people like you.
Thank you.
We need to really empower artists and help that next generation, right? Or help the current generation of
Yeah,
artists. We all need each other and you do so, so, so much. So
thank you. I think, like,
appreciate
just this conversation with you, I think there's also something very selfish in this because truly I feel like when I get to do this, I also get to this is the pep talk I always need and a push I need. And in that way, sometimes you know the bigger reason is because I know I didn't find that courage, like I didn't find that community. And even if it can help two, four, five,
it.
I remember it, like when we started our stores project, we were so small. 4 years today, actually we complete 4 years officially.
Yay,
Unofficial, I
congrats.
don't even know how long it's been, but I know it started from nothing and it's grown into something now. And it's been a journey, but also I have like I've been able to help, but also so much help I have internally received, like knowing that the artist in me, that crave for all of those things. And today I feel like if I'm creating this out there, it's like I'm feeding myself also. Like there's so many versions of me already out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, I would love to take a workshop with you.
Yes.
100%. So amazing. Well, we'll have to be in touch and
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
thank you.
I
I
can't
hope
wait to
everyone
close
has a
it.
great day. Can't wait to see all these
You.
events roll out. We need more art events.
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is
Yes. Yes.
exciting.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for
Thank you.
listening.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a
Bye.
great day.
You too. Bye-bye.